I wouldn't be a real high school teenager if I wasn't complaining about something absolutely stupid, which is of course college, and I don't know why it's something that I have to complain about because normally most kids don't think about it until like junior year, at least that's what my brother said. And that is a pretty normal time because it's the year right before you apply, but I'm just trying to be productive. I'm trying to think about it like 1 year earlier, 2 years earlier, because I was thinking about it last year but still didn't get nothing done. So now it's just 1 year earlier that I'm thinking about it. Still, I'm predicting for the rest of this year I'm about to get nothing done. And then next year I'll actually have to start thinking about it and I'm still going to get nothing done. And bless up, the final result, nothing happens and I get the worst case scenario, which is, I don't even know what the worst case scenario is. I'm homeless on the streets or I'm a janitor or I'm working at McDonald's. Either way, every worst case scenario is pretty bad, but it's just a boring and painful, excruciatingly painful, frustrating process to even make a plan of action. And what I don't even know what I'm complaining about. It's basically when you want to do something productive, when you want to do something productive, and make it set towards college, specifically for college. But there's nothing to do because you don't have a target and there's nothing to base your action around. So you can't make a plan of action around a target that doesn't exist. And all this kind of came up, all this like stuff came up in my brain when like the other day it was alumni day at Gov School. A bunch of old people came back. They graduated from Gov School. They said, "Oh yeah, here's some advice about college, and we're also doing these careers. Gov School's cool. We're inspiring you." And I was not, very intrigued by that day at all. I was intrigued by the breakfast they provided once a month, which was happened to be on that day. So of course I ate a lot of food. That was all that I really cared about. But I did see my brother's friend's brother there, so that was interesting. Basically, they just gave you a bunch of advice, and then they also said which colleges they're going to, and then what career, what major they're doing, all that good stuff. It was pretty boring, but it was interesting. And I'm gonna shoot down every single piece of advice they gave because in the end, none of it helped me, or at least most of them didn't help me. One piece of advice: start researching about colleges now. That's a good idea, but how are you supposed to base your research? How are you supposed to decide? What are you even supposed to research? Like, what is there to research? There's no idea around that. And of course, I have people like Peter who are like, "Oh, I have everything figured out. This is my target school. I'm trying to get into Naval Academy, freaking be a god of society." I'm like, "All right, that's good for you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, don't forget, I also have these schools I'm trying to apply to. These are my backup schools. Blah 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 blah." I'm like, "That's great, bro. You a legend. Keep it up." And then I got Nigel. He's like, "Oh yeah, I just finished researching. I'm trying to go to these schools." He got like 10. He's like, "Oh, this one's decent, this one's decent, this one has a blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna start touring next year." And I'm like, okay. At that point I was frustrated, so I asked him, like a gentleman. I asked him, I'm like, "Okay, Nigel, please tell me, what choices, what factors do you consider when you're picking colleges? Because I'm genuinely curious because I need to figure it out. This is a constant struggle I need to figure out." And he just told me the most generic things. He's like, freaking the people. I want a college with a lot of people. I want good food. If the food isn't bad, then no. I need the good food. I need sports, SEC, ACC, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means, but he wants sports. He wants to be on a good college sports team so he can have the ego of winning and be patriotic with his freaking college, all that good stuff. And then what else? He said like, "Oh, the community. I have to match the community. The location. I have to match the location. The campus has to be nice." Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, "Okay, great. Good for you, Nigel. You have your preferences." And I'm mocking him, obviously, but at the same time, he's gotten more done than me because he actually has the plan. He has preferences. He has a target to do research off of. I have no preferences. I don't care about that stuff, if I'm being honest. Food is irrelevant to me. If I ate instant ramen for 4 years in college, I wouldn't even care because it's just food. And if it made all my other decisions easier, then I would gladly eat instant ramen for the next 4 years of my life. But it's not that simple. And then everything else, I don't care about sports. Maybe I should care about sports because apparently that's like a big dude thing to get into. And like, "Oh, did you watch the game last night?" I'm like, "No," because I don't care about sports. But either way, that's just another relevant thing. Campus, sure, it's a campus, like whatever. It has buildings, that's amazing. People, that's great as long as they're not stupid, which if you're at college, you're hopefully not stupid, then that's great. Basically, I have no generic preferences to research off of, and there's no target to research. So when they say like research colleges, I'm like, okay, frick you. There's no research to do. You can research a college and say like, "Oh, what's this college is like? What's it known for?" Like the only actual things you can research is based off if you have something to want. And I have nothing to want. There's no major I want to do, no career path, no preferences. I don't care about food. I don't care about sports. There's nothing to research. So basically, I had to have to develop some preferences first. And I'm not sure if I'm normal by the fact that I don't have any preferences. Most people should have preferences. I just don't. So that makes it a lot harder. But that's the first guy's advice. Do research now. You can start researching college earlier. Sure, that's a great idea, but I can't. There's nothing to research off of. And then another person said C's get degrees. That's a great piece of advice. If you have C's, you're probably going to be a janitor. No, not even. I think people with C's don't even do that bad anymore. That guy got into GMU, which is not a competitive school. At least that's what Peter told me. But GMU, that guy got C's. He went to GMU. Most of the alumni went to either VT, UVA, or GMU. Those are the three generic Virginia colleges that you go into, which makes sense because if you go to a school, I think most people who go to like a high school in the area are obviously gonna like go to a college in the area, and UVA, VT, and GMU are obviously like pretty good for in-state relatively. So it makes sense that they go to those schools. But basically, C's get degrees. I don't even care. I don't bother with my grades, but A is the standard that's set upon me by not only family, but it's also just my own general standard to set upon myself. A's are just A's. I don't really care. They're just grades. But C's get degrees. I'm not about to just drop down to C's for no reason. A's are still A's, and it's not that difficult to maintain an A. So I'm not going to drop to a C. Thank you very much, good weird sir. That guy did have the most personality out of all those dudes, so I respect him for that, even if he has all C's. In fact, one of the guys asked him, he's like, I was wondering, you have all C's, you said, and you still got into a college. Does that mean you had good extracurricular grades? And he was like, no. And then everyone started laughing. That was a good peak comedy moment. But anyways, C's get degrees. That's a BS piece of advice. So that's kind of trash. But another girl said she applied to 3 colleges, MIT, UVA, VT, because freaking she was super strict about her standards for college. And apparently those are her standards, and only those 3 made this cut. And then she got rejected from MIT because that's a freaking really annoying school to get into. And then she got into UVA, VT. She went to UVA. She said, oh, just apply to more than 3 colleges. I'm like, no crap. I was going to apply to more than 3 colleges, but I have to decide what those colleges are. Great. I have not started that process yet. It has not begun. So, boo-hoo, that has not happened. What else did they say? Nothing else of use. They said, like, if you don't have advice, just pass the mic down. So they went down the line. Like, then 3 people would pass the mic down, and then 1 person would give this generic piece of advice. It's nothing that really helps me. And ultimately, the biggest thing that I heard multiple people say that kind of pissed me off is people would say, oh, I knew what major I wanted to get since 8th grade. And I'm like, dude, if I knew what I wanted to do since 8th grade, do you know how far I would be right now? My entire 9th grade year, I was thinking, oh, I should do something right now. I should think about college. But I need a major. I need a career path. I didn't even think that far ahead by 9th grade. But if I knew in 8th grade my major or career path, I would have been flying my 9th grade year. My whole high school experience up until now would have been 50% just studying and researching college, because then you have a target to do. Like, if you knew what you wanted to do since 8th grade, you could do so much with your time. But I can't, because I don't have a career path, major interest, like blah blah blah. Like, I'm not gonna study like based off nothing. So like, I don't have that target. And like, it's like before, no target, no plan of action, because you need a target. Target is very important, and I can't get the target because that's just a pain to just you can't get that on command. It's just not something that happens. And I feel like those people are absolutely blessed if you know what you want to do, if you know your career path, all that good stuff. By 8th grade, Jesus Christ, you are wholly blessed, because you can do so much at just like literally by freshman year, you can have so much done. But I have nothing done. And at this rate, I can feel it in my bones. I'm not stupid. If I do what I'm doing every day at this rate, nothing good will happen. I will not be impressed by where I am in the next few years. So I'm not stupid. I can tell that, but I also have no clue how to change it. And eventually, through enough frustration, the dream idea is, oh yeah, one day a gleaming idea, a shining light bulb will come out of the freaking ground and like solve all your problems. That most likely will not happen. So it's a process, thinking, how are you going to solve this problem? How are you going to do something that makes you feel like more productive and like reach your standards? Because my stress threshold has still not been hit yet. Me trying to stress myself out with more work, there is no work to be done. I have nothing to do to increase my stress, nothing to do to make me feel more productive. And not only that, it's just a pain. And plus, on top of all that, the other day we had to pick our scheduling for the next year in high school. And this time my mindset has changed. In the previous times, every time I see that stupid sheet with all the classes for the next year, I'm like, damn, I don't care about any of these classes. I just want to take anything required for the advanced diploma and then get out of high school. But the mindset is changed now. Now, I looked at all those classes, I'm like, God damn, there's so many good classes on here. I could take this, I could take that, but I can't because my schedule is set in stone. Because Gov School not only takes away an elective slot, it adds its own elective slot, but that's basically, it takes away an elective slot, so then that kind of destroys my scheduling process at base school. And on top of that, if you go for the advanced diploma, you need to take a foreign language, you need to do all this extra sequential classes, all that bullcrap. It's very fun. Basically, I can't take as many classes as I would have wanted to in terms of electives that would help me broaden my horizon, because that's all I really want to do. I saw those classes on there, I'm like, oh, GIS, my brothers took that, it's like a free internship. An internship is really helpful if you want to know more about like future careers. You can basically just deep dive into one, see if you like it or not. I can't take that, I don't have the room. Programming, that was a new class, sounds interesting, I can't take that, sucks. Intro to engineering, sounds pretty cool, I can't take that, sucks, oh well. I can't take any of those, I can't broaden my horizon, I can't learn anything new, because next year it's set in stone. I would have to take Latin 3 and band. Or I can drop band, which is something I might have to seriously consider if I'm trying to like do some other classes, but that's just most likely, I don't know. It's just too much pain to figure out. Essentially, Gov School has kind of destroyed. It's not even Gov School, because even if I didn't do Gov School, I would only have one extra elective slot per year. So that's not even that big of a deal. But in the end, there's too many good classes to take, and I have very many limitations in the first place. So it kind of sucks. But I guess that's just all the pain. I'm complaining. Obviously, I'm complaining. My purpose of this video was to talk fast, complain, and be annoying and bratty, and drink some water. So my goal has been accomplished. I'm still just complaining because I have plenty of time on my hands. Gov School is light work. I don't care about those grades. A's are easy. So in the end, I don't care. I want to do something productive with my time, something preferably in this scenario about college, related to college, to help you about college, because college is college, and like, not even college, just future career path, something that will set me up, something my future self will look back on and be like, oh, thank you, bro, you did so much help in making my job way easier now. I haven't done anything. All this time and effort thinking about something useful that ultimately leads to nothing. It's a funnel into a void that just wastes time and energy. I would rather play video games than think about this. That's literally what ends up happening. So in the end, time and effort thinking about it. In the end, no result, no product, nothing happens. So boo-hoo. What am I gonna do about it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But until then, nothing happens and I stay pissed. Good night.